Hi chums. Right, we're back on the bread again. Now, I put one up the other day using Mugsy Jeff, or Jeff's LSA recipe, and I did baps. This time I did little loaves, okay? So as you can see, the little loaves came out fairly good. They've got a nice crust. They both sound pretty good, and I've cut one open. My hands are clean, they were clean just for this. And this is the inside. Now, if you look at this bit here, I'm just trying to get in front of this, right? If you look, there is a nice spring in this, okay? It goes up again, but you can see the problem. To see in here, here, and here, and here, the dough hasn't cooked properly. So eating it raw is a bit, well, doughy, but I toasted a piece of that and it was absolutely spot on toasted. So these little loaves will not be wasted. Now, I had a problem. When I am cooking the Jeff's baps, the baps are only this height, okay? So they cook in 15 minutes. So what I did was with these, I put these in bread tins or loaf tins, and I used the cooking instructions on the side of the packet, and it was gas mark 8, which is 425 centigrade or Fahrenheit, gas mark 8, 425. I think it is 9, it was 450. Yeah, 450 that is. And for half an hour, but I should have actually done it for 45 minutes because this didn't cook properly. It sounded hollow. See, they sound hollow, but they're not cooked right through. But that's not a big issue, and we can toast that and it'll be grand. So that was Jeff's LSA. Oh, I was asked what the LSA means. LSA is a mixture of linseed or flaxseed, almonds, ground almonds, and sunflower. Now, I couldn't get ground almonds, so what I did was I ground my own. I just got whole almonds, which are a cheap way to buy them, and some sunflower seeds, and I put them in a food processor and blitzed them a couple of times, and it actually worked well. I found ground almond in the supermarket yesterday, but it was too fine. And with this little mixture here, and I just mixed the three together and that, and then pour out whatever measure I want. When you make it sort of a bit coarse like that, when you're eating the bread, you get these little nutty bits, which is really, really nice. So I'll do that in future. So that's Jeff's bread. So that's it made into loaves, and I would cook it for about 45 minutes at 450 instead. This one here is the no-knead bread, and I followed Dale Calder's recipe. Dale's in Canada, and this is what I got. So there's my knife again, and this is only out about 3 hours. This is out now, it's just cooled. Nice sound. That's the noise we want. I'm just letting that knife glide on that really. And then if we look at the texture here, we can see that the texture is very good. We've got a nice spring to the loaf, and if you look, it's lovely and soft. So I haven't eaten any of this yet. I just cut that to see what it was like inside and the structure. I'd noticed in other ones of these, people making them, they had huge big holes in the middle of this, but that's actually very nice. If all the holes stay around that side, I'd be happy enough, you know. So that was that. Now, I did change one part. In Dale's recipe, what he does is he puts his dough into the oven to prove. Now, with the light on, but I had an issue with that. If you look at here, the oven here is 600 millimeters. Traditionally in Europe, our kitchens were smaller than in America, so the appliances were all smaller as well. So 600 is a standard really. There are 2 lights in that oven, so it meant that the temperature was getting up in around 38, 39 degrees. And when I took the dough out, it was just about 39.1 degrees centigrade, which is warmer than body temperature. So it was too warm, and it was just a pure, it was just like glue. I could do nothing with it. So I got on to Dale, and he advised me that it was possibly too warm because of the size of the oven, and the light was just a bit too much for it, too much heat overnight. So I made the exact same mixture again as Dale's recipe, and I left it sitting on the bench overnight, well, for about 18 hours, and it worked out absolutely perfectly, exactly the way I've seen it. I've seen them on YouTube, and it just baked beautifully, as you can see. I don't need to taste this because I just know it's going to be lovely from the smell of it. So the only difference would be, I think Dale said to cook his at 450. I cooked this one at 475 because I'd looked at the New York Times recipe and different ones, and they were talking about 500. Now, this oven doesn't go to 500, it goes to gas mark 9, which is 475 Fahrenheit. So Dale was 450, New York Times was 500, so I split the difference, went to 475. And I did the same time, 30 minutes closed in the oven, or the cast iron oven. There's it there, that's the little cast iron oven that I bought, which I think is a type that everybody seems to have. And it said in the instructions, do not heat this empty, but I took the risk and it was alright. So as I say, I did mine for 45 minutes at gas mark 9, which is 475, and that's how it turned out. And I like that very much, the crust and that. So there you go. So Jeff, thank you, and Dale, thank you as well for putting up the recipe and for helping me out with the problem that I had. So if you want to try this, folks, Dale Calder's recipe, the only difference that you will see really in the temperature is that Dale's loaf will look just slightly less dark than this one. It looks to me, it's just a bit darker, but essentially it's the same. You know, the next one I'll do at 450, just see what difference there is, but I think it shouldn't be a huge amount. So there you go, folks. Dale Calder's bread and Muggsy Jeff's bread. Right, all the best. Thank you. Now, bye bye.